So this is the M4 iPad Pro, Apple's latest iPad release, and for the last month I've been using this for photography as well as my creative business, and I have some extremely strong thoughts about this iPad. Now, before we get into all my thoughts on this new iPad and if it's worth it for photographers, I want to go over my backstory of how I got here and also thank today's sponsor, Squarespace. We'll talk about them a little bit later on. But essentially in 2021, I found myself wanting to have an extension of my MacBook and iMac setup. At the time, I was using an iMac. I've since upgraded to a MacBook Pro with a studio display, which I absolutely love, but I wanted to have something that was a little more powerful and easy to use than my phone, that I could use on the go for my photography, for editing, as well as other parts of my business, and the iPad made sense. And seeing as this was a couple years old, I thought it would be cool to go ahead and try out an upgrade with the M4 iPad, and this was not worth it for me at least. Now there's a whole list of reasons as to why I say that. We'll summarize all that towards the end of the video. For now, I want to talk about some of the key marketing messages that Apple is sending with this M4 iPad and give my thoughts on them. The first is this whole ultra thin thing they have going on. Yes, this is a 13-inch iPad. It is the thinner one, but the thinness of it doesn't really do anything for me. I mean, yeah, it's thinner than the old one, but this thing is still really thin as well. Based on all the marketing and all the reels and videos I saw from other creators, I was under the impression that I was going to get this in the mail and it was going to be just a sheet of paper or something mind-blowing, and I was a little bit let down. Not to say it's bad. I mean, of course, having a smaller device is great, but it just wasn't that mind-blowing experience that all the marketing led me to believe it could be. Now, on top of that, this M4 iPad, based on my experience using this for photo, performs about the same in terms of speed. I never had an issue with my old iPad Pro, and I haven't found an issue with this one. Now, there is the argument to be made that if you got the 1TB iPad, you get more RAM, so you could process more intense video files and do more for multimedia on the iPad, but I primarily use it for photography, and I never found myself really seeing much of an upgrade in terms of processing. And the same goes for the screen on these two iPads. This upgrade to the M4, the screen is a little bit better, but once again feels like I'm splitting hairs between the previous iPad and this one. The difference is there, but it's not something I'm gonna sit here and write home about. Based on my research, there is a lot of new tech and science that goes into this M4 screen, something like the OLED display and it not burning in images because of some algorithm it runs, to the naked eye and someone who is just not a big tech person. I really couldn't tell that much of a difference. It is a little bit brighter, it is a little bit clearer, but not something that, once again, I feel is worthy of me updating from a previous Model 4. And on top of that, with this upgrade and the fact that it's now thinner, none of your accessories from previous iPads work with this new iPad. I had the keyboard from the old iPad, I had the Pro Pencil from the old iPad, and I had the old Portfolio. None of them work with this new iPad, and I just personally felt kind of ripped off to know that not only am I upgrading my iPad to something that doesn't really feel worth it, I'm also now having to upgrade every single accessory if I want to potentially get the most out of this. And not to mention the M4 iPad takes away some features from previous iPads like the wide angle camera, which I'm sure most people don't use, but it does feel kind of weird to spend more money on this updated version when the older version technically had something else that made it quote unquote better. Now, one other thing that other people have talked about that I've noticed as well with this iPad is the fact that the pencil doesn't stick as well as previous iPads. Because the iPad is so thin, I felt like the pencil was falling off a lot, and that's a little bit annoying, but it just is what it is. It's actually the reason why with this iPad, I did not get the Pro Pencil. I went ahead and just got the USB-C one because I didn't feel like spending all this money on upgrades. And all this money on upgrades for something that feels basically the same is the main reason why I just don't really see the point in getting this if you already have an iPad. Now, if you're someone who doesn't have an iPad and you're considering picking one of these up, I have some thoughts on that, which I'll talk about in 1 second after I thank today's sponsor, Squarespace. Now, if you're someone watching this video and you're considering investing your money into something like an iPad or new tech to accelerate your business, something you should consider is investing in your business through a website. And no one makes it easier to take your business to the next level than Squarespace. Squarespace has templates that are beautiful, that are easy to customize with their Fluid engine, and on top of that, they allow you to do so much. You can sell a course through Squarespace, you can sell products, both physical and digital, you can have membership sites, you can have a blog, you can have your customers contact you. It is a one-stop shop for anyone out there looking to monetize their creativity. And what's great about Squarespace and iPads is all of Squarespace's mobile apps are compatible with iPads, so you can make upgrades to your site, you can adjust things all through your device when you're on the go. Now, if you're someone who's a little bit overwhelmed at the idea of building a website, I have multiple videos linked in the description down below under a heading called Free Website Resources. These videos will help you build your website faster. The first one shows you exactly how I built my website, evanranft.com, so you can copy my homepage. The second one shows you exactly how to create a course on Squarespace so you can monetize any information you have. And the third shows you how to create a beautiful portfolio if you are an artist looking to showcase your work to potential clients. And the best part is Squarespace is hooking up the channel with a special offer. Just go to squarespace.com/EvanRanft, start a free trial, follow one of those tutorials, and when you're ready to sign up, you can use code EvanRanft to save 10% at checkout. That's squarespace.com/EvanRanft, start a free trial, and use code EvanRanft to save 10% at checkout. Big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. So at this point in the video, you might think that I have negative feelings towards iPads in general for photographers and creators, but that could not be farther from the truth. I think that iPads provide a great user experience, especially for someone who spends a lot of time on the computer and a lot of time on their phone. The iPad is essentially a bridge. You get all the benefits of what you can do on your phone with a bigger screen and less distraction. Personally, I don't allow text messages on my iPad and I don't allow social media, so I can really lock in on work no matter where I am. And it is refreshing to get off of my MacBook and not be sitting at my desk, which at times can get a little bit exhausting. And if I'm editing photos, I never want to edit on my phone. It's nice to be able to do it on the iPad. But when it comes to the M4 iPad Pro, I just personally feel like if you're someone who owns any previous iPad, you're just not getting enough here to upgrade. You're going to be spending more money, you're going to have to upgrade all your accessories, and what are you really getting? So in terms of the M4 specifically, it just doesn't feel like an upgrade that is worth it. But if you're a photographer or creator out there and you don't have an iPad in your workflow and you're considering getting one, this is going to be a great option for you. And as a personal anecdote, I would love to see Apple do some type of refresh with the iPad. I just don't feel like they can keep releasing these and keep having people interested in them. I mean, there's got to be something new that comes with this product line, because it feels like it's just been the same thing over and over and over again, and this M4 upgrade that I just did is the perfect example of that. So yeah, those are just my thoughts after using this. As time goes on, who knows, maybe I'll find more use out of this. Maybe my opinion will change. If that happens, I'll definitely make a video talking about it. But for now, those are my thoughts on the M4 iPad Pro. If you agree with me, let me know in the comments. If you have your own experience with the iPad, maybe you think I'm missing something or there's something I can do to get more out of it, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. And also, if you want, tell me what you think Apple should do to refresh the iPads and make them something that just has a little more upgrade appeal, I guess. But that's it for me. Subscribe if you are not yet, hit the thumbs up button, and I'll see y'all in the next video.